It's another delicious day here in the Let's Make Food from Food Kitchen, and today I'm making a cheddar soda bread. I've already made a soda bread before, but the recipe I used before was different. It had whole wheat flour and unbleached white flour. So today it's all white flour. I've got some grated cheddar. It's sort of grated. It kind of crumbled because it froze. Have you ever tried to grate frozen cheddar after it's thawed? It just, like, the consistency just falls apart, which is fine because at the end of the day I just need little pieces. So it worked well and it went fast. So I went ahead and did that ahead because I needed to grate my butter, and we'll get to that in a minute. What I have here is 2.5 cups of unbleached flour. I'm going to put in my baking soda, my baking powder, and my salt, and I want to combine all of that. Okay, so soda bread is a non-yeast bread. And my understanding is that the wheat that used to grow in Ireland, and maybe it still does, doesn't do well as a yeast bread. And so this was an alternative, and there's some other history behind it as well. If you know what it is, feel free to put it down in the comments. I love it when people bring comments and suggestions to the page. I'm always open to suggestions, guys, so just keep it nice. Be nice, right? Okay, this is done for that part of it. Now what I need to do, I don't know why I moved this over here. I need my grater and my butter, and this is still mostly frozen. And the reason I did it that way, you want it to be cold. And in the last recipe I used, I cut it in, so I put it in small chunks, and then I used a pastry deal to cut it in. But there's another method to do, and it is great. So great, get it? Great. So I'm just going to take my butter and I am going to do it this way. Okay, and this is 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and it just falls right on in there. But as I go, I want to whisk it because I want the butter to get coated in the flour and not stick to itself as the shreds. Okay, and this works for any kind of pastry that you're trying to cut butter into if you need it to be shredded like this. Or grated. You could use the finer grates, but I wasn't going to go that far. Okay, I'm going to stir it again. My oven's preheated to 425 degrees, or I should say it is preheating. It's not there yet. You'll probably hear a beep right in the middle of the sentence usually. Okay, I'm just going to keep going. There's no way to keep your hands clean unless you're wearing gloves or something, which I'm not going to do. So I'm just going to keep going until all this is done and mix it in. So now I just need to get the rest of this kind of cut in there. And if I was using a pastry knife, if I was using a pastry knife, I'd be cutting it in. Or you could use, see, right in the middle of a sentence, or you could use a couple of butter knives and do this if you're using chunks. I'm actually using the tines of my whisk to kind of break it down a little bit more, which at the same time coats the little pieces in the butter. Okay, we want it to be kind of a crumbly consistency. I don't want big chunks of butter. It's 8 ounces, which comes to about 2 cups of shredded cheddar, and we just need to stir it in. Okay, if there's a bigger piece, I want to break that down a little bit. I encourage you to grate your own cheese and not use the pre-shredded. I get it, it's convenient, it's easy, but it has anti-caking agents in it to prevent it from sticking to itself in the bag. But I don't want that in my recipe. I want the cheddar to adhere to the flour as it bakes and then melts and gets all nice and delicious. Okay, so here's where we're at. We've got crumbles with cheese and butter and stuff mixed in. I'm going to set this aside for just a moment. Now I've got this bowl. I'm going to crack my beautiful egg from Miss Tammy and her lovely chickens. These are farm fresh eggs, which is always a treat, and I'm always grateful to get them. And don't worry, Tammy, I have some potato and leek soup for you in gratitude. Okay, and that is 1 1/4 cups of buttermilk. Okay, this is low-fat buttermilk. I do have a recipe for a quick buttermilk if you don't happen to have any on hand, but I don't think it works well in this recipe. I've never tried it, but the consistency is different, and so I'm not sure how it would work in this recipe, so I'm not sure. Maybe I should just try it and just see one day. I hate wasting food though, so because if it doesn't turn out. Okay, so now I need to combine these two. I'm going to use just my spatula for now to get that accomplished. And this recipe, once you have your cheese and your butter prepared, it actually goes really quickly, and then it's just bake time. Let me set this down. I don't need to be holding it. So what you want to do is just get all of the flour combined with the liquids. You don't want to over stir it, over mix it. You want to keep the butter chilled until you're ready to cook it. So our goal here is just to get a sticky wet dough, not to really just mix it so that everything is disintegrated. All right, it looks good to me. So the next thing I need to do is grab a little bit of flour and dust my cutting board here. You could also use a piece of parchment paper for easy cleanup and then dust the parchment paper. It's up to you. Okay, this is dusted. I'm just gonna spread it around a little bit, and I have a cookie sheet. You could also take like an 8-inch round pan and grease it really well. Put your dough in there and then press it down. That's another method that you could use, but I'm doing it this way because I can and I want to. Okay, so just get it all out there. Try not to leave too much behind. Okay, and then I need to press this down to about 1 inch thick, okay? So I'm gonna take my hands and just get a little flour and just start getting down to business, okay? And it shouldn't stick too bad if you've got some well-floured hands, okay? Now, once you've got it pretty close to your inch thick, I'm gonna go ahead and flip it over and press down some more, flour those sides, because next I wanna make sure that my flour coverage is good so I can just put it directly on my pan. Now it's usually round, and so I'm gonna try and get it rounded as I press and try to get it pretty even, okay? Now, there is one final thing to do. And this is to help control where your crack is, but there's also a history to it. So let me clean up and then I will grab a knife and show you what it is. Okay, now I'm gonna take my knife and score it, okay? Why do we do that? Well, as I said, it's kind of to help control where it cracks and falls, because this is a very flaky, buttery bread. Now, that said, there is some beliefs, some folklore that you score the bread to let out the evil fairies in Ireland. And some believe it's the cross for blessing your bread. So there's a couple of interesting little twists on why we cross score our bread. So I'm gonna put this in 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna reduce my heat down to 400 degrees and cook it another 30 minutes. Keep an eye on it. We don't want it to get overly brown, but we do want it to start brown and looking golden. So in we go. See you in a bit. Okay, my cheddar soda bread is done. Now, it did get a little dark on the top. It's not burnt, it's just dark, and it's my oven. I know a good chef doesn't blame their tools, and I'm not. I should have watched it. I should have rotated it and remembered to put the rack down a little lower, because my oven space in this one is so small. Now, if I'd have used a standard size oven, it wouldn't have happened. So keep the cooking time for you, but just know that for me, because my oven's small, that sometimes this happens. Let's just slice it open and see what we have. Oh my gosh, look at that. Fabulous. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, so I'm gonna take a little just piece of it, and it's just light and yummy. Delicious. This is gonna go really good with my corned beef hash that's coming up next. Making it with my homemade brisket, my corned beef brisket, it's gonna be delicious. And this is gonna be excellent with it. Put some marmalade on it, some jam, some butter, whatever you want, but it's, I mean, all by itself, it's delicious. The outside's crispy, a little. The inside's soft. It's moist. Very, very, very good. And I used an extra sharp cheddar, by the way. Is there something you'd like to see me make? Tell me what it is down below in the comments. Thanks for joining me here today for another kitchen adventure. From my kitchen to yours, let's make food from food.
That's one board.